What's up, guys? Nepenthez here, and welcome back to another episode of Football Manager. We started the last episode at game 1 of season 7. We are currently 20 games into season 7, as you can see by the table there, and we are currently top of the table, but by just a point. All of this has been played on stream. If you guys want to come check that out, twitch.tv/Nepenthez. And as you can see by the stats there, Blakey is currently the top goal scorer with 12. Also has the highest average rating. He has the most. RJ has the most assists. Glatzel has the best pass completion. Player of the match is Blakey with 6. Yellow cards is Naldo and Roger Dreher with 5, and red cards Roger Dreher with 1. So I don't think I made any transfers after the last video. Maybe just one. Maybe just this guy. And he's so far got 1 goal. And I signed him because he's got really good finishing, really good dribbling, and really good heading. And then his pace, acceleration, agility, and natural fitness are brilliant as well. So his balance is a little bit low. But he got signed mostly as a backup because Terrell Whitaker is kind of falling off the pace a little bit. And that largely is in part due to the fact that we just don't have the training facilities, right? But we ended up changing tactics after my tactics weren't working again. So I've actually got Dreher out for a game, which is no problem at all. Win Hughes can come back in central defence. We got Spurs under 23s in one day. But to show you guys the tactics and where we got, so we went away from the 4-4-2 or the 4-2-2-2, whatever you wanted to say, and we went into the 4-2-3-1. So when I was still using the 4-4-2, that's why I signed that other striker, because Whitaker just wasn't scoring. Last season he banged early on in the season, but I'll show you him and his stats in a second. So we switched to the 4-2-3-1. One of the issues I had was defensively, we just weren't very good last season at the back end. And, the AI figured out our tactics, so to speak. And so we were struggling with that. So I've now got 2 tactics. They're basically the same. So a tip that one of you, quite a lot of you guys gave me, was that the AI figures out your tactics. So even if you just have the same tactic that's mildly different, it's, in the AI's opinion, an entirely new tactic. So we basically got the same tactic with a few minor changes, and you can see the familiarity is very high as well because they're training on that. So I might also put in a third tactic for them to learn as well. But we've switched into the 4-2-3-1, and we're playing very, very good so far. When we look at the actual squad, Nick Naylor, our absolute superstar keeper, he's obviously very, very good. His arrows are up, which is nice. We've got Gavin Armstrong, who's not really our first choice right back anymore. It's the right backs is between him and David Poole. We signed this guy as an experiment. Based on the player that got the most assists in League 2 last season, it was a fullback that just wasn't very good. But he had really, really good physical stats. So we've got not necessarily great acceleration on this guy, but his stamina, pace, balance, and agility are great. His crossing's very good. His tackling's okay. And although his mentals are terrible, he's actually done all right with 2 goals and 1 assist so far. Not quite what we was looking for, although Armstrong only has 2 assists as well. And in fact, we're going to start Paul for this game as well. We've then got, let me put Rodwell on the bench instead of Simpson there. We've then got Win Hughes at centre-back, brilliant, obviously coming in from Birmingham. And we've got Jake Rooney, who's unhappy because he's not getting enough game time. And he's not good enough. Our other centre-back, Beacom here, he's just better. Not by much, mind you, but he is better. And then we've got Naldo at left-back, who, again, isn't necessarily an insane first-choice left-back. I do like him a lot, but not quite as good as we would like to have hoped. He's only got 2 assists so far. We've got Tom Walker, who's currently playing centre mid, but also plays out on that attacking left mid quite a lot. We've got RJ, who is just very, very influential, on loan from Fulham for the 2nd year. Hopefully, we can get him back again for a 3rd year, or maybe we can try and purchase him. We have the money for it. We've then got Leroy, who's doing brilliantly for us. Very mixed bag in terms of his stats. Some up, some down. Quite weird, but his physicals are brilliant, which is why he's already got 5 goals and 2 assists, and you can see that RJ with 4 goals and 11 assists. Glatzel playing in this central cam role. I will be honest, the centre cam doesn't really seem to do much in this formation that we've got going on. Maybe it'd be a case of me changing instead of support, maybe as an attacking player. I don't really know. But yeah, he just doesn't really seem to get involved all that much at all. Whether it's as a support or an attack, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. We then got Kamikaze in that attacking midfield left spot with good physicals, good technicals, but again, not necessarily our first choice left wing. We've then got Wakerling in the striker spot, and this is why we signed him, because of his real good stats. And he scored in the last game that he played in, but Blakey is our first choice striker. I rested him in the last game on purpose. His natural fitness is 18 and his stamina is 13. But for some reason, he's just always drained at the end of games, always. So he's obviously doing insane for us this season. 12 goals, 5 assists, the top scorer of the team. Rodwell's just a bit part player. And then Terrell Whitaker, guys, 7 goals and 2 assists. But, I mean, when we look at his form, he's only scored 4 goals in the last 19 appearances. It is a lot of substitute appearances for sure. And he was scoring when he was starting, but I just struggled to... He was just missing a lot of chances. The formation wasn't working, so we had to change it. And it ended up taking us to a point where I could only play either Blakey or Terrell Whitaker. And as I say, his stats, they're not growing. They're not gaining. Like, his finishing has actually gone down. If we have a look at his development here, look at his progress. When we look at, is that not dribbling? Yeah, let's put dribbling, finishing, the first touch. You can see here, like, finishing was 14. Now it's dipped to 13. His dribbling was 12. I think it's still just 12. Yeah, it's actually on the higher level a little bit now. His first touch at 13 is still just there. But his other key stats for us, his acceleration, his agility, his pace, they're just... Some of them are going up. His agility's gone up a little bit. But in general, it's just the same. And as I say, I don't know why his finishing went down from 14 to 13. I don't know how much of a difference. I don't know, like, is it... how does a match engine take it now? Because finishing here at 14 and here at 13, they're very, very similar, on the line. So are they very, very similar in game, or does the game literally see 14 and 13 and adjust accordingly, or does it scale down depending on how high in the 13 barrier he is or not? I don't know the answers to that personally, but so yeah, Terrell Whitaker in general anyway, if I look at him, if a player like this came up on the scouting page, I wouldn't sign him. I'd look at that and be like, he's got okay physicals, some decent key stats here, but mentals aren't nowhere near good enough. Physicals are now starting to get to the low tier. I wouldn't probably sign him, and that's why with Wakeling, he's a lot better. He's got better physicals, better dribbling, better finishing, better heading, better mentals, better decisions and composure. He's just a better player than Whitaker. Now, of course, Whitaker is just a club icon, right? I don't know if did he count as an icon so far. How do we get there? Let's go to club information and go to general. And so he is an icon. So Terrell Whitaker is definitely there. He's got a lot of appearances for the club. 185 league appearances for us with 106 goals. It's a great return. And he will go down in the history books. I just don't think he's just not there anymore. So in terms of competitions, guys, so we are top of League 2. It hasn't been easy. It's been a bit of a topsy-turvy season so far. We are now 8 points clear of Oxford for the playoff places and 5 points clear of Cheltenham for the automatic promotion places. This time last season, I think we finished last season with 48 points from the first half. So we can get very, very, very close to that again, which is pretty good. But we're narrowly top at the moment. Southend also doing very, very good. In terms of the other competitions that we've got, we are in the English FA Cup second round. The third round, and we're away to Sunderland. Should hopefully be a good payday for us there, and who knows if we can nab a big win against Sunderland. I don't think we can. The Carabao Cup, we lost by Bournemouth in the second round, so to be competitive, I think they'll be happy with that. And the Leasing Trophy, they wanted us to reach the second round minimum, and that's exactly where we are today, up against the Spurs 23s. And in terms of the rest of the results, you guys saw the 2-0 loss to Woking. We then went on a 5-game win streak, 4-0 against Bradford, 1-0 against Accrington, 1-0 against Southend in the Carabao Cup first round, 3-2 against Mansfield, and 1-0 against Rochdale. After the 5th win, same as last season, when we had a 5-win streak right here, 5 wins in a row, right, from Salford to Southend, the media put up a piece where they're like, oh, they're about to break their win record and so on and so forth, and we went on a mad loss streak. So after this 5-win streak here, again, the media piece came up telling us about the 6-win streak that we're about to break and so on and so forth. And look at that, after that, we then lost back-to-back games to Oxford 2-0 and Bournemouth expectedly 3-0. We beat Chesterfield 2-0, but then we lost to Walsall 2-1. We managed to beat MK Dons 3-1, but then we lost 3 in a row again. Southend 3-2, Tranmere 2-1, Crawley 2-1. Mid to low table teams that we should be beating. And that's when I decided to change the tactic. So that was the last game there. You can see Whittaker and Blakey both starting. That was the last game there that we played in the 4-2-2. And we ended up changing then into the 4-3-3. And since the 4-3-3, which is from Exeter onwards, as you can see, we have got 10 wins, 2 draws and 1 loss from 13 games in the 4-3-3. So you understand why I'm reluctant to go back to any 4-2-2, or why I'd be reluctant to play Terrell Whittaker over Blakey, because it's just working. So we end up smashing Exeter 4-0. We drew 0-0 with Fylde. They're actually quite high in the league this season as well, so that's actually a good away point whilst learning a new tactic. We smashed Forest Green Rovers 4-1. We beat Oldham 1-0. We beat Ebbsfleet 4-1. We drew 0-0 with Wrexham, which again is a really good result. Are Wrexham high in the table this season? No, they're 17th. That's a really bad result, that one. But we drew 0-0 with Wrexham. We then lost to Bolton 2-0. To be expected. Bolton are a very, very strong team. And even though they're not super high, they're 20th, right, guys? I've never seen in my life in Football Manager a team dominate so many games and lose so many games. Like if we look at their first game against Mansfield and we look at the match stats, can you see the there you go. Bolton 65% possession, and that just ended up being a commonality with them. 68% possession against Rochdale, 10 shots, 3 on target. They lost 1-0. You go to their next loss in the league, 1-0 to Crawley. 65% possession, 12 shots, 6 on target. They lost 1-0. Like, they are absolutely battering teams left, right, and centre, and they're just losing by 1 goal. 1-0 to Oldham. They got 64% possession, 17 shots, 12 on target. Oldham managed to just nab a win. I've honestly just never seen anything like it. And then, of course, when it came to them playing us, they end up putting a great performance in, 70% possession, 15 shots, 4 on target. But of course, against us, they ended up scoring the goals and winning the game. So that was pretty sad. But you know, it's weird to see them down there after dominating so very much. But carrying on with our records, guys. After that Bolton loss, we then had a perfect month for the first time ever. We beat Cheltenham 2-1. Blakey and Dreher with the goals. We beat Maidenhead in the FA Cup first round 2-0. Blakey and an own goal from Milovanovic there. We then beat Fulham under-23s 1-0. Jake Rooney scoring the only goal in the 54th minute. We then beat Shrewsbury 2-0, Stevenage 2-0, and Hartlepool 2-0. Meaning that in the month of November, we conceded just 1 goal whilst getting 6 wins, which is absolutely phenomenal. And now we go in against the Spurs under-23s. I don't know how this game's going to go. It depends on what players they allow to play in this game. Their general starting lineup isn't brilliant. It's okay. It's got some players probably on a very similar level to us. A few players a little worse than what we've got. And then, like this guy here, a lot of players that are very, very, very good compared to us. So it's going to be an interesting game. It could honestly be one of those that we get a comfortable victory in, or it could be one of those games where we just get absolutely pumped. And of course, if they've got any injured or half-fit players from the main team, like we could end up facing off against some of the big players from Spurs as well. So hopefully we could just do our best here. I'm not expecting a big crowd. Like the crowd just don't even show up for these games. But let me look at the fitness of the team. See, the team's not even that fit. I don't particularly care all that much about this this cup. So let's take Hughes off for Rodwell. Let me just play my second string team. Let's start Terrell Whittaker. I'm going to take a purposeful L here, I think. I mean, who knows? Maybe the boys come in good and still do all right for us. Let's put Rogerson in as well for a game. Dreher's injured. Douse has fitness problems. Silas can go in. He can go in instead of Naldo in at left back there. Have we got someone that can go in for RJ? Beacom I don't really want to use. Will Hughes. Could use Will Hughes. We'll pop him in there instead. Win Hughes, should I say. And then Glatzel. Do I want to play Glatzel or do I want to play... Let's play Douse. Let's put Glatzel on the bench instead of the goalkeeper. Have I got the goalkeeper on there? No. Actually, let's play Wakeling in that cam role. Let's keep Douse off for the energy. Let's play the 2 strikers, but play one right behind the other one. And as I say, I don't expect miracles out of this team here. I don't expect to win against Spurs. The crowd isn't there. It's a shame that we're almost throwing this game. Not like fully throwing it, but almost throwing it. Who knows what the Spurs team will be that shows up. So who have they got? They've got, well, they're going to be starting with a good opportunity here. Crawley whips that one in, and that did not take long. So Kroner there scores the goal. And yeah, that's just bad news, isn't it? That's going to be a long afternoon today for us. As expected, as I say, you know, that's why we kind of fielded a weaker team. Even if we fielded our strongest team, I still wouldn't be confident that we'd win this game. And why put my best players at risk of fitness problems and injury problems in a cup game that we just don't really care about? Look at that guy. He's so fast. Wow, he's tall as well. That's a great save. He's fast and tall. He's not even that fast. 11 pace, 11 acceleration. He's just obliterated me there. Hey, that's too bad. He got the rebound goal. I think this is going to be one of those games, guys, where I think I turn the camera to the 2D classic, and we just we don't really look at the highlights on this one. Here's Wakeling, though, into Simpson. Whips that one all the way there. And Kamikaze has ended up scoring a goal. His 4th goal of the season. The assist from Simpson. Very nice to have him on the team and doing something good. And maybe there's hope yet. I don't know. Kamikaze's got low stamina, though. Let's give them a get creative shout. And his Spurs under 23s with another opportunity. Embleton again whips the ball in. Kroner's going to pick it up. Silas whips it in. And then their striker gets the goal. It might even be worth just skipping through all of this game, just turning off the highlights as well, because this is going to get ugly, isn't it? That one's off the bar. Let's give him a demand more. He was offside anyway, so it wouldn't have made any difference. But we've had 1 shot and scored it. They've had 10 shots and now 11 shots. They're dominating possession. Maybe I should be going cautious instead of offensive. Here's Paul with the 3 kick. Whips all the way to the back post. And is he onside? Jake Rooney with another goal. And somehow we are still in this game. With 45 minutes on the clock, it's 3-2. We've only had 2 shots. And this is the problem that Bolton are having this season. Every shot they suffer, they concede from. Let's give everything that we've got for this second half here. Let's see what we can do. So here's Spurs under 23s again, whipping the ball in. Now Embleton puts it over the bar this time. Let me give a get creative. Potentially, guys, we could nick an equaliser here and take this game all the way through. David Paul has been booked. Let's make some changes now. Let's get Kamikaze off. Let's bring Leroyd on. See, Terrell Whitaker's just done nothing again this whole game. It's so sad. Let's bring Simpson for Armstrong. Just because of the match sharpness more than anything. Let's give them a demand more again. We're still playing cautious. I'll play cautious until like the 75th minute. See if we can, get a nice counter-attacking equaliser or something again. Now we'll go attacking. Let's bring Blakey on. Let's just try. Let's just give it a shot. Let's bring our star man on. And Armstrong is going to put the ball into Paul. Here's Walker all the way through. Oh, Blakey, he scored. Is he onside? Got to wait until he's onside. He's offside. I had a feeling he was offside. It just seemed too easy. It just seemed way too easy. But 10 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go now. In terms of the actual scoreline itself, it wasn't too bad. We lost 3-2 and had a goal disallowed for offside. In terms of the match stats and the game pattern, we got absolutely dominated. But it wasn't. See, the assistant manager wants me to tell them that it was a poor performance. I don't personally think it was. I thought we played as well as we could have been expected to play right there. But anyway, I will be back, guys, for the Walsall game. Well, it's only 4 days away, so let me put some rest on the players. And now it's already 3 days away. We're at that part of the season where it's just constant games now, game after game after game. Our schedule for this month. We've got a game on the 6th, the 3rd. I suppose we've got a week between Walsall and Burton, and a week between Burton and Leyton Orient. Almost a week between Leyton Orient and Fylde as well. But then it's Wrexham, Tranmere and Sunderland very, very quickly, one after the other. So we're going to rotate there. Fortunately, it's 3 home games. Fylde are 7th, Wrexham are 17th, Tranmere 11th. So hopefully 3 games that we could pick up some good points in for the end of this month. But for today, we'll play the Walsall away game, and we will call it a day there. A big, almost mid-season update, I suppose, for today. And just the last thing I forgot to mention to you guys is this guy right here, Royland. I still want him so bad. He's now also wanted by Cardiff. Okay, so I've got no chance now. I was going to try and I've been trying to sign him the whole time. Yeah, Cardiff are in the Championship. We've got no chance to get him. Every time we offer, initially he didn't want to come because we withdrew the contract. Like we couldn't match his demands because I had all my wages tied up in other potential offers, right? And so I had to walk away from the deal. Because of that, he then didn't want to sign. After that, when we got to the point where he did want to sign again, we got him to agree the contract, but we would have had to pay $300,000 in compensation to TNS. I didn't want to do that, so we ended up making an offer to TNS, but then he's decided that he doesn't want to enter into contract negotiations. So for some weird reason, if we just approach to sign him, he feels he would be considering joining the club in general, but he feels we lack the financial muscle to meet his contract demands. But we wouldn't. I feel like we would be able to offer him anything he wanted because we've got the wage budget. Even if he wanted 6,000 or 7,000 a week, we'd be able to pay it. Not that I would pay that. I think, if we could get him down to like 3,000 or 2,000 a week, that'd be great. But I absolutely can meet his needs, but he just doesn't want to come. So that's really sad that we're going to miss out on him just because of a few just like little errors here and there, little like mistakes that again we won't make going forwards now. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a very, very tough one. In terms of contracts, what did I say about the contract there? Jake Rooney's transfer list. So we're not favourites to beat Walsall. Where are Walsall in the league? They are 6th, and we're away from home. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough game here. Let's get the changes into the team. Naldo, Beacon, Hughes, Armstrong, Naylor, perfect. Dreher and Walker, no. I want Dreher and RJ. Oh no, RJ is playing the central cam role for us, isn't he? And then Glatzel right, Leroy left. RJ was doing good from the central cam spot. Blakey up front, perfect. Rogerson for Douse. That's not a bad team. That is not a bad team. Everyone's getting a lot of game time this season as well. For the first time, I feel like ever, we've rotated really, really well through the squad. And we've needed to because we have had, again, lots of injuries this season. Torquay dismissed Simpson speculation. Do they want him? Would I let him go? I probably would. He's not great. He's not bad either. Again, and one of those weird ones where he's got like he excels in a few certain areas and then just falls apart everywhere else. He'd be easy to replace. Like replace him in an absolute heartbeat. So here we go, guys. The last game for today. We don't need to send anyone to the under 23s for the next game there. And then we've got Burton in a week's time. So again, lots of time between games. So even if we don't have the greatest game here, we should be all right. So we've got 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss so far against Walsall. Apparently my formation is 4-2-4 wide. So that's good. If they think that we're playing 4-2-4 wide, I don't mind that at all. And you guys should now start to see the full impact of the Blakey RJ partnership. All the goals are coming through those guys. And RJ set pieces are most of the reason why. Now the conditioning. Oh, we've got the highlights on the wrong one, haven't we? Hopefully they don't score. What do we want? Direct. So there we go. The ball is in, and he has scored as well. So Kieran Bowie, 3rd goal of the season. Look at his conditioning. His match sharpness is low. His conditioning is low. We should be able to turn this game around. Like, it just depends. One of the things I struggle with, one of the things I don't know how to adapt to or change to, is when we get dominated for possession. I don't know how to improve on that. It just seems like I'm constantly fighting against the tide with that one. But since we changed to short passing, we are dominating possession. I just need these guys to start getting some chances created. So we're going to go attacking and see if that can change the way we're creating chances. But on the stroke of half time now, we've finally got our first highlight. Now they're up to RJ. It's going to fall back to Francis here. Francis clears it long. It's not going anywhere. Hughes into Armstrong. Dreher picks up the loose ball. Back out to Armstrong. Plays it wide to Glatzel. Glatzel inside to Walker. Walker out to Armstrong. If we lose possession here, we're in trouble. They've got a really good counter opportunity here. Yep, and there it is. Oh, Hughes has just about kept the ball there, which is nice. RJ picks up the loose ball in that cam roll, runs all the way around the outside, finds Leroy. What a long highlight this has been. Leroy into Dreher, to Walker, back to RJ. Lovely pass in here now. Out wide to Glatzel, finally, into Armstrong. He whips that in, and there's Leroy at the far post, and that's an easy save for the goalkeeper. And that seemed like a lot of highlight for not a lot. And now here we are. We've actually turned this game around. We're dominating possession. We're dominating the chances. We just can't put the ball in the back of the net. So hopefully, what I want to do straight away is just put RJ back into the support role rather than the attacking role. There we go. So from kickoff, no, maybe not. It's just I don't think that was a highlight. I think it was just because I made the tactical changes. And here we go. This is actually a highlight straight away. So Armstrong throws it down the right. Blakey picks up the loose ball. RJ in the middle of the park again, pulling the strings. Leroy out wide. It's where we need him to just accelerate, use that pace that he's got. Naldo out on the left-hand side. He's got Blakey in the middle. Comes back to Leroy. Whips that to the far post. It's over the bar. Who was that? That was Glatzel, wasn't it? That's too bad. I can feel the pressure coming on to Walsall now, though. We just got to make sure we don't get hit on the counter. They are obviously a very good team. In fact, this would put them up to 4th if they win this. Is that a pen? No. Armstrong. He runs. He loses. He wins the ball back again. He whips it in this time, surely. There it is. Far post. And that is finally the goal that has been coming for a long time. Leroy with his 6th goal. Armstrong with an assist. And that, fortunately, turns this game around to in a position now where, hopefully, my team's motivated. They want to go out there and win. It's 1-1. Let's get... who have we got to bring on? I really want to bring on... Let's bring Silas on in that left role. I never really want to take Blakey off because he's just too valuable. But I also don't want to just leave him on because it's nice to get the fresh legs into the attacking roles. Hughes clears that one. Dreher and Hughes playing nicely. The ball gets cleared out to the left-hand side, and that's why I like Blakey. He picks up the ball. He runs at the back line, threads it through to Leroy. Is he going to make it 2? No, that's a horrible, horrible attack. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to put RJ into the midfield instead of Walker. We're going to bring Walker off. We're going to put... let's put Whittaker in the cam role for 10 minutes, and then for the last 10 minutes of the game, we'll take Blakey off and bring the new signing on and see if we can get his good physical stats to make an impact here. So here is Whittaker. Loses the possession straight away. Just about keeps it in. Armstrong out to Hughes. Come on, we've got to get a win here. We've dominated this game. Walsall down into 5th after this. More importantly, I want to just keep increasing the... here's Whittaker. Is he going to score? No, that's a big save. I just want to keep increasing the gap between us and 4th place. Like, that's the main aim. So here's RJ with the corner. Hopefully Blakey's going to get on the end of this. All the way through, but all the way through, sadly. And let's make our last sub. Let's bring Blakey off. Let's bring Wakeling on and see what he can do for the last 15 minutes. Does keep us in 2nd position. Keeps us 5 points clear. The fact this highlight is still going, guys, means that this is a goal. It never really lasts this long. That is a horrendous tackle. It never lasts this long, especially not from other set pieces and stuff. Oh, what a save from Naylor. Unless it's usually a goal. Maybe not on this occasion, though. Do I want to go attacking? I do. I want to go attacking for the last 10 minutes. Naylor, wow, my goalkeeper's got a knock. That's really sad news because I hate my 2nd choice goalkeeper. The ball gets punted up. Whittaker's going to fall into that gap and pick up the loose ball. Goes all the way. And he's put it wide, guys. And this is what I mean. I know his long shots aren't particularly great either, but he's just not doing what he needs to be doing. He's not putting the ball in the back of the net these days. Right, we've got a last attack here. 3 minutes on the clock. Armstrong, Hughes. Back out to Armstrong. Got the assist for today for the goal that we've scored. Hughes again, back to the injured Naylor. He looks all right. His fitness is pretty high. He doesn't have the injury thing on him anymore either. Naylor plays it all the way deep. Oh, no, it's their Naylor that's got an injury. Their centre-back. And he's ended up giving up the ball. We've gone right. We've got Glatzel. With 3 minutes on the clock, Glatzel tries to swing one in. Armstrong does swing one in. And it's all the way through to Wakeling, and he's offside. Of course he is. They always finish so immaculately when they're offside. It's like FIFA, man. In FIFA, you can always tell when your player's offside because the finish is just insane. 1 minute left on the clock. Can we not concede with a minute to go? Yes, we can. Oh, no. He's put it wide. Thank God for that. There you go. I don't mind a draw too much. If you say, like, at the start of the game, you'll be away to 6th in the league and you'll grab a draw, you would take that all day, every day. But I think on the balance of the game, I feel like we probably deserve to win this game. another offside goal costing us. Need my players to do better with staying onside, playing along the line. That is likely to be the end of the game here. 5 seconds on the clock now. This throw-in should pretty much be full time. Patterson with the ball. He's taking his time as well. Here is Harrower. Backwards he goes. And yeah, only 4 shots on target from 16. Let me have a look at who had them and where they were from. So, Leroyd with a lot of our shots. 3 shots blocked from range. 1 shot saved from a good area. 1 shot missed from quite a good area. And a goal from very close. Then RJ with 3 shots blocked as well from very, very low. That must be free kicks from there. Glatzel with 2 shots missed. See, he's got to be scoring those. That's one of those areas where it's like, look, we're getting great opportunities here and he's not scoring them. And 1 shot saved also from a very good area. So you feel like Glatzel maybe should have done a bit better. And Terrell Whitaker had a shot missed from range. A shot saved from about 15, 16 yards. And then a shot blocked from range as well. So I'm shooting from just a bit too far out, I suppose. Maybe we need to do a better job of getting the ball into the box before we take our shots. But then again, Glatzel had 3 or 4 really, really good shots from really, really good areas and also didn't score. So maybe it's a mix of the tactics and the personnel that's letting us down. But after 21 games, guys, we're 1 point off top of the table now. Southend obviously picking up their win. I feel like we've already played a lot of the top teams, though, so not too much of a problem. We should have a fairly easy run in from here, but that's going to be the end of the video, guys. So if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.